Two main things that you learn when you first start boxing: jab and footwork.
I don't think it was anything that really put him in danger, but it certainly spoiled his usual momentum that he's able to build and really destroy people with.
Thank you, Michael. This is Raina Roan with your KO Fightcast.
You learn it from YouTube. Somebody gonna break your jaw while you trying to throw the uppercut on the left foot.
Man, Charlo gave him too much respect, man.
Too much.
He didn't fight his fight.
You feel like he was already scared going into the fight, like he was already defeated?
I don't know if he was scared or not, but, Canelo did a tremendous job in there. He did what he had to do.
Good evening, and welcome to Knockouts Unlimited. I'm your host, Michael Opdyke.
I'm your host, Joshua Burns.
I'm your host, Big Sugar Ray Phillips.
And tonight, we're covering some historic fights. Now, one of the things that I'm sure that we'll talk about is, were they entertaining? Were they athletic? Were they competitive? That's yet to be discussed, but certainly they were historic. Let's start at the top of the card. We had Canelo versus Charlo. Charlo going up 14 pounds to the 168th division, fighting Canelo. There were a couple questions going into this. Could Charlo deal with the weight? Could he deal with Canelo's pressure? And was Canelo's conditioning going to be at a place where it needed to be so that he could stay on top of Charlo the entire round? Josh, I think the answer was yes to most of those questions.
Yes, it was. We all know what Canelo brings to the table. We know what he can do as far as his boxing skills. He's always had issues with his stamina, so we wanted to see if Charlo was going to bring that out. But we also wanted to see if Jermell Charlo would be able to hold up to the power punches of Canelo at 168, how he would adjust to that weight class. But he showed us very minimum in that. Charlo did not fight a Charlo fight. He fought very timid. He fought very scared. He did not show that mentality of a lion, and this is starting to get under my skin with these guys want to have all these accolades and give themselves these prestigious names, and you haven't had anybody give you a name to say you're a lion. Dude, you didn't do anything. You fought scary. A lion isn't scary. So you fought timid, didn't let your hands go. You did not show the boxing public or the general public that you belonged in the ring with Canelo Alvarez.
Sugar Ray, well, before we got on camera, you were talking about where you thought the mindset of Charlo was while he was facing those power punches from Canelo.
Well, Canelo, he's a powerful puncher, but Charlo, he's a 154-pounder coming up to super middleweight. It's a big difference. He's so afraid he'd throw his jab, but he'd throw a right hand, left hook behind it. And every time he'd do it, he'd get on his bicycle. He would run around the ring instead of trying to fight back with Canelo. He was running from Canelo. He was scared to death. And like he just said, if you allow him, you're gonna attack him. You're gonna go after him. Whether you get whooped or not, you're gonna fight him. You're gonna give the people what they want. You're going to give him entertainment. But he didn't get on entertainment. All he did was run and try to grab him. And he'd set him up. But he's scared. He hit him with a hook, but you got to throw a right hand right uppercut. You got to throw something behind that hook. You got to throw him in combinations. So he knows he's fighting a heavier guy. So you got to hit him with some decent shots. 5 shots at a time, 4 shots at a time. And then when he come in there, tie him up and then hit him with them uppercuts in there, tie his arm up in there, and hit him with the uppercuts, right hooks. Then make the referee break out. But he didn't do none of that. He just got on his bike like he was in a park someplace trying to get away.
To that point, we did see him when he would throw a jab to set up his footwork. He was able to pretty successfully navigate the ring. But as they got later into the fight, all those volume punches and all those volume combinations almost seemed just perfunctory to where they were practiced on the heavy bag.
And I thought Charlo's movement was good. The way he used his angles and got away from punches, I thought were good. Mm-hmm. But as Big Sugar Ray said, you can't make a person miss and you don't counter with anything. And I saw a lot of that happening with Charlo. He made Canelo miss punches, and Canelo was wide open for a counter right behind that. But because of the timid attitude that Charlo brought to the table that night, and it was basically, Charlo, you did not come to fight, man. You came to pick up a check. Let's call it what it is, because you did not show any gut in that ring at all.
Well, while we are focusing on some of the shortcomings of Charlo, I do want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the technique that Canelo employed during that fight, because we saw some really nice stuff from Canelo. I especially like the way that he would walk Charlo down into the ropes behind that double jab and then land those thundering rear hooks to the body.
He'll land him right there to the kidney. He's got a good right hand, hit him in the kidney, and then come out with left hook, come out with right hand. But the kid, all he had to do was keep moving and trap him. But once he trapped him, he was afraid. He was scared to death. He was scared to death of Canelo, be honest with you. He come there just to be real with you and real talk. He come there for a payday. He didn't come to fight. He come to survive. Yeah, he come to survive. You know it, and I know. He come to survive. He didn't come to whoop him. If he say, okay, let me go all in and bang, 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 like Ron Lyle did against George Foreman. He get up and knock George back down. He get up and knock Ron Lyle. Like, I mean, we get all in. He said, well, but George.
When you actually look at the fight, and pay attention to how it went, Canelo really didn't do anything different to surprise anybody. He did not do anything different. Even when he got the knockdown, that knockdown came from Charlo thinking he was going to the body with the right hand. And that's what Canelo set him up for. Canelo, he threw the punch in the motion that he was throwing the right hand to the body, and he came straight down the pike. And that's what hurt Charlo then. But Canelo did not do anything different than he's done in normal fights. I think his stamina may have been a little better, but again, that's hard to tell when you don't have anything coming at you. If you don't have a lot of stuff coming back, it's hard to gauge your stamina at that point.
What you said is real talk. See, a lot of people don't. See, if I fight you, I'll let you throw the punches. But if I start fighting you back, I burn the stamina out of you. If I start fighting you back, make me fight back. But he didn't do it.
So the question becomes, what do we want to see next from these two fighters? Certainly, we want to see Charlo go back to the drawing board and consider whether or not he wants to come forward in a fight that's this competitive. Where do we want to see Canelo go? Do we want to see him take on somebody that's younger and will go ahead and test that newly found stamina that he's talking about?
I want to see Canelo go ahead and push himself to be even greater than what he is. Do he want to have a rematch with Bivol? Or do you want to take on one of those guys at a lower weight class that you feel real challenging to you, that the public wants to see you fight? Or do you want to go ahead and step in there with Benavidez, where everybody wants to see?
I'd like to see him fight Bud Crawford. Bud been hollering for him. I got kin folks live up in Nebraska. Bud say he want him. Bud Crawford say he want Charlo next. Bud Crawford got the height, got the good jab, got the good right hand, and his trainers told him to be a killer, to go on in there and try to really, really do some damage. And that's like he did to Earl Spencer. I think that would be a good fight for him.
Well, certainly, it was exciting to watch, and we've got more fights to discuss coming up. But we're going to take a brief moment to hear a word from our sponsors, so make sure to stay tuned.
I am not a star. I don't want to be a star. I don't have a great name. The media have never heard of me. No public, no cheerleaders. It's not about winning or losing. It's about reaching your limits, going as far as you can go, and then going farther. I don't collect titles, I collect hours. Hours of hard work. Hours of pain. That's just me. I'm playing for the ultimate victory. The victory over yourself. This is a way of life. There is no finish line. Becoming the best that you can be. There's nothing else that matters. Beating the odds. Fulfilling your destiny. I don't want to be a superstar. I want to be better than that. just want to be me. Just want to be me.
This is Samuel, the main event Clarkson, and you are watching Knockouts Unlimited, baby. Let's get it.
Welcome back. All right. So we're going to continue down the card. Next up, we're going to discuss Ramos versus Luben. Now, I think everybody on the panel can agree the decision in the Ramos-Luben fight last night was disappointing to say the least. We had a lot of high hopes for Ramos, and we saw him do what I felt he needed to do to win the fight, but ultimately the judges gave it to Luben.
I agree. I felt like he did what he needed to do to win the fight. I thought Luben held his own in there. I thought he could have done a lot more. We know Luben has boxing skills, but he didn't show as much as I wanted him to show, or at least to warrant him getting a decision in that fight. I did not think he won the fight. I thought that was all Ramos. I thought he won the fight hands down. And for a young man to take that defeat like he did with such honor and grace at the end of the fight when he spoke in the interview, I thought he did well. He showed himself to be very mature at that instance, that moment. So I would love to see more of him.
And Sugar Ray, in this fight, just like the previous fight we discussed, we saw Luben try to kind of get on his bike, use his footwork to not get pressured by Ramos, but ultimately end up against the ropes. What do you do with that?
Well, first of all, the judges, all them three of them judges, I need to buy them some glasses. Somewhere, Ray Charles could have seen that. Stevie Wonder could have seen that, heard that, man.
I agree. I agree.
Go ahead, Brad. When he get against them ropes, see, it's real tricky on them ropes. You can hit them with uppercuts, left hooks, and then spin out. You have to be real tricky when you bring a guy. Come on. See, if I put you on the rope, now if you back up against them ropes volunteer, you have to really be careful about letting somebody put you into put you into a web trap like a spider. He built his nest. He wants you to land on that. Like I jab, you hit a jab. Now I sit back on this shot right here. I want you to come in so I can hit you, pivot, and get out of the way.
And you know what, Big Sugar Ray? We saw that 2 or 3 times from Luben in the fight, but we didn't see it consistently from him. We did not see that consistently. And I knew he had that in him to do it, but we didn't see the consistency.
One of the things we did see was Ramos slowed down quite a bit in the 9th round. Do you think that played anything into the judge's decision? Because he really had gas going in.
I think that played in the 2 rounds that he slowed down and let Luben win handily. I think that played a decision in the cards. But with that said, those were just 2 rounds. You know, we don't judge a fight by 2 rounds. We judge it by 12, the total of the fight. And I thought Ramos did enough to win the victory. We really need to reevaluate our judging criteria and scoring of these fights, because these men are putting in tons of work, dedication, away from their family, away from kids a lot of times. And, you know, as a parent, you do not want to be away from your kid and stuff like that. So they're putting in all this time, drilling their body, killing their bodies to do all this to get decisions like that. So I think we need to go back to the drawing board with the criteria of judging these fights.
Well, hopefully the rest of the fight industry will see this as a moral victory for Ramos and give him the due that certainly we think he's due. But let's move on to another fight, the Barrios versus Ugas fight. We had Ugas coming in trying to show that he was still a force to be reckoned with. We have Barrios, who's young, trying to make a name for himself in a hotly contested division. And wow, did Barrios do well.
And I was looking for Barrios to do well. I really like the kid. I want to see him do good. Even when he fought Tank, I thought he held himself in high regard after the fight, the way he spoke and everything. Again, I listened to what these fighters say. But he went out there and he demonstrated, you know, that he was a boxer to a caliber that he should have been at. I just don't think Ugas showed us that he has it left in him. His eyes swelled up again, previous damage from the Errol Spence fight. So I think that it's going to be hard for Ugas to come back, but not taking anything away from Barrios. Barrios did exactly what he wanted to do. And you can tell he's back. He's in it. His mind is right. He really wants this.
Absolutely. Now, Sugar Ray, earlier you mentioned that Bud Crawford would be somebody interesting to see fight. And we had him in attendance for this fight. And this is a weight class that he is competitive in. What do you think that somebody like Barrios needs to do to get to that Bud Crawford fight?
Well, you know, these promoters, they try to hold the fighters back from this fighter, from that fighter nowadays. But Bud Crawford, he's on this level now, and he don't want to take a chance in giving these other guys this opportunity until the promoter come along and start talking with the commissioner, and the promoter say, well, no, let's bring my fighter into your fight, and we'll split the purse 60-40, 30-30, whatever.
Exactly, because right now that's not a fight that is about looking for. You're exactly right about that, yes.
So this is why you see these guys, you say, man, he should be for, nope. The promoter won't even bring you on. He will not bring you on. No, sir, not at all. It's like when this Earl Spencer fought Ugas. See, the only reason he got that chance because Ugas beat Pacquiao. So he got in line, and Spencer busted his eye, and his eye still messed up. Yeah.
So what do we want to see from Ugas at this point? Is it better for him to move on to a mentoring and coaching role? Does he have anything left within a fighting career?
Well, as a fighter and coming from that Cuban system, I know he's going to want to do it again. He doesn't want to lose like that. He doesn't want to end his career like that. So I think he should, for his sake, go ahead and take a fight with a lesser opponent, though. He doesn't need to be in there with anybody that's in the top 10 and top 15.
Certainly.
But see what happened. Now, here you are fighting a world champion, Earl Spencer, and Spencer was on his game that time. He was here in Dallas in front of the home team. He beat that boy reckless. That boy should have took a tomato can and come back. Build his confidence back. You knock all the confidence out of a fighter. You get him beat down. How can you just jump back in there against a tough guy? That's crazy on the manager's part.
But I honor that. I honor that with Ugas because that's a throwback mentality. You know, it's a throwback mentality. But I do agree with you. You come back from a devastating injury like that, yes, you do need time to heal up and get your eye prepared for that.
That's right.
Well, hopefully we can see Ugas go out on a victory for his career, and also certainly a bright, shining star with Barrios, who has nowhere to go but up. But, Sugar Ray, I understand that you've done another Declassified for us.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to rock and roll with it.
Excellent. Well, that concludes our coverage of the fights from the previous evening, but make sure you stay tuned to catch Big Sugar Ray Phillips with Declassified.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family.
Yeah!
Oh, I thought you were on my team.
This is Big Sugar Ray with Declassified. You know, you're looking at the fights, all these young fighters coming up today, with like the fight the other night, Canelo and the Charlo. Charlo, he had great opportunities to hit Canelo, but he was afraid for some reason. He didn't take advantage of the opportunities. He would make him miss with the hook, but he wouldn't counter back. Look at the old school fighters back when Joe Louis fought. Look when Rocky Marciano fight. If I make you miss, I'm gonna make you pay. Well, you can't have no fear. But some reason I think Charlo had a lot of fear in his heart for Canelo. He was pulling up 2 weight classes. 54 to 68 is a big difference, whether the public know it or not. An ounce. If you're overweight, half a pound, you get fined $5 million, $2 million for being overweight. So this is all pure strength. So when he fought Canelo, he had to put on all this extra weight. It slowed everything down, and he just didn't have it. He was afraid of Canelo. That's what he was. He's like an old school fighter. Back then we fought in 6-ounce gloves. We fought in 8-ounce gloves. Back in the day, Jack Johnson. Back in the day, Rocky Marciano, Gene Tooney. But we fought. We get in there. We wasn't afraid to fight the next man. These kids today, I think all they want is that bag. They're not putting in the work like we used to put in the work. You have to put in the work. If you got to put in the work hard, like Mayweather. I just tell you, Mayweather. I've been knowing him since he was 3 years old. But Mayweather works out. He works out up in Mount Charleston. He works out like a fanatic. This is why Mayweather was so good in his day, because he worked out so hard, and everybody's wondering why he's bragging now. But the man put in the work. He put in the work, and when you get up in the ring, you have zero fear. And this is the Charlo the other day. He had too much respect for Canelo. He was afraid to get knocked out. If you get knocked out trying to get knocked out. You may knock him out, but when you make him miss with the hook, he wouldn't even fire back. He hit him with a jab. He wouldn't even hit him with a right hand and another left hook. He just pulled back. He'd pull back and then try to run again. I don't know where he got the name the Lion. They should have called him the Rabbit, because he run from Canelo all day long. He run from Canelo. If he would have just sat down on his punches, he can sit down at 54. You can sit down on them shots and hit it. But if I don't hit you, I don't know if I can knock you out. I'm scared of you. I'm scared if I hit you too hard, you're going to hit me back. And so, man, it just really, really bothered me for him to see. And then he got a trainer in his corner named Derrick James. Derrick James ain't telling him nothing in the corner over there. And sometimes, if you don't know a lot, I can't tell you a lot in that corner. If you don't know a lot, I can't tell you a lot. So your knowledge come in the boxing. That's why Angelo Dundee, Eddie Futz, Johnny Taco, Ronnie Shields. See, these are all, they had over 100 world champion fighters in the corner. And they have old school trainers in their corner. So you got some peace of mind to say, man, he need to do this right here. He need to do this right here. He need to adjust right here. But one guy like Derrick think he know everything. How can he know it? Yeah, that's crazy. What'd you learn off of YouTube? Because I've been right here in Dallas. I'm not scared of you. I've been right here in Dallas. I ain't never seen you around all the top trainers that were around here in Dallas, around me, Curtis Coates, or I see you in Las Vegas. I lived in Las Vegas 22 years. I ain't never seen you around them old trainers like Johnny Taco. They wouldn't even allow you in the gym. They wouldn't even allow you in no training camps because you didn't know nobody. But yet still, you think that you can train these fighters. But for this kid to prepare like he did, when you get in that corner, see, you're supposed to, man, you're allowed. What are you doing? You're allowed. You ain't no cat. Attack him. Attack Canelo. Get after him. Get after him. If not, I'm going to take the gloves off and fight. If you're not going to fight. If you're either going to fight, I'm going to take the gloves off and fight him for you. Look like you're scared of him. But he don't know how to push him to that other level in boxing. It's right here. Like Dundee, you see him in there. What you coming here to do, Sugar Ray? Did you come here to fight? Did you want to come in here and walk around like Hugh Hefner, Lazarus Playboy? You come here to fight. You're going to get beat up. You're going to get beat up. You're going to get beat up. Ain't nobody going to want you there. Get out there and fight. I say get out there and fight. If not, go get you a job. See, you got to talk to these fighters and let them know. See, we come out of food stamps, welfare. Their mamas and them did. Their mamas is pulling for them. But they can pull for you all they want to. It's not going to do you no good because you ain't did that homework back here. You haven't did the road work, the hard sparring, the right sparring, having the right people around you to help lift like Muhammad Ali had Bundini Brown. Go, champ. Go, champ. Our champ. The champ, what did we come to do, champ? We come to rumble in the jungle, and we gonna rumble George Foreman's head in the jungle. So that build Muhammad Ali's confidence. Early in the morning, he get out there. Come on, champ. Come on, champ. You keep running. The champ, you got him. But you got to have people around your camp to help build you up, to bring out the best in you, the best. So I'm just saying this Declassified, these young fighters today, you got to have some top trainers in your corner, sir. That's like Canelo. He got them old school trainers who trained back with Jose Montequillo Napla, Salvador Sanchez. He trained with Carlos Palomino. Trained with all the old school. Them is old school trainers. They know all the tricks of the trade. But there's some of these new generations, they get in here just to get them a bag from the fighter. They get 3%, 10%, 4% of 5 million, 10 million. That's all they want. And they ain't interested in you. They don't care nothing about you. If not, Earl Spencer would have never had that wreck. He would have never had that wreck. If Derek James would have been with him and said, no, you're not driving this car. I'm going to call a wrecker to come get you. And he would have never flipped that Ferrari over. You have to really get involved until you fight. This is Big Sugar Ray with Declassified. Hope y'all keep on watching our channel. And we hope the best for you, and God bless you. Anytime you want to learn some wisdom about boxing, you come to Knockouts and check out Big Sugar Ray's Declassified. Amen, amen.
Why would you bully me?
Because it makes you feel cool? Because I'm different?
Do I touch a nerve?
Does making me feel bad make you feel good?
Why?
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 Bullying hurts. Bullying abuses. Bullying kills. Why would you bully me?
Man, I want to give a shout out to BPMG Sports, man, for keeping updated with me and all this sport active illustration, you know, man. I want to thank everybody, the whole team, you know. They do a great job.
Hey, let me tell you something. BPMG says it like it is. That's what I'm talking about. They don't pull no punches, and that's what boxing needs. All this crap they don't need. They need somebody like BPMG says it like it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, BPMG Sports. See y'all. Houston, Texas.
All right. Sugar Ray, always great to have you do the Declassifieds. They're always interesting and entertaining.
Yes, sir. See, the Declassified is throwing you back to the old school fights. We fought back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We fought like men in there. We just didn't fight for a payday. It was something to us back when you brought us up. We come up off of food stamps, welfare. We come out of the ghetto. We come out of prisons. We come out of jails to try to make a name for ourselves. So we gonna fight for a trophy. We gonna get $1 million here in the trophy. We gonna fight just as hard because our pride is on the line. Our pride is on the line when we fight. Like we have a fight at school. The little kids fight at school. This other little kid, he got heart. He gonna show heart to try to whoop him. But in that Canelo fight, that little kid, Charlo, he run like a little scary rat. He didn't try to say, I'm going to take this right here and be the first champion to come up and whoop a super middleweight champion. Like when Sugar Ray Robinson, when he fought for the light heavyweight, he give it all he got. And he just finally collapsed in Madison Square Garden when he went up to and fought for his 175 pounds light heavyweight. He pulled up that weight, but he collapsed. He fought the hardest he could, but he just too much weight. He give up too much weight and too much exhaustion, so he just collapsed. But he had that tiger heart. Mm-hmm. I don't know what kind of heart this other fella got. He need to say he's a rabbit.
Certainly, we've all got opinions about Charlo and, well, shall we say, the lack of heart that he showed. Josh, closing thoughts for the episode?
Well, I would like to say these guys, when they're fighting for undisputed, and when they're fighting for anything, this is prize fighting. I want to see it get back to the glory days of prize fighting. I want to see these fighters go in there and show they have the will to be great, the will to be the greatest. We know a lot of people are not going to reach that pinnacle of being the greatest fighter out there, but I want to see you show that you have that in you. A lot of people they're reaching for money. They're trying to grab the bag, the so-called bag. They want to grab the bag, but what it takes to get there, they all know. They've been boxing, they've been competing since they were young kids, but they're not showing the heart that they want to. Once you get enough money and you feel secure in yourself financially, you don't go that extra mile you need to go to win these fights. I believe that we need to get back to the golden days that Sugar Ray was speaking of. These fighters really want to be the best. They really want to say, I was the best in this division. I was the best in the world at this time. Can't nobody top me. Have that Mayweather mentality, which I don't agree with a lot of things he say, but he has the right mentality. He wants to be the greatest. He wants to be better than everybody else. He feel like you can't compare him to anybody. That's how this mentality of this generation should be. Don't let anybody compare you to someone else. Go out there and be the best that you could be and prove that in the ring.
Well, I don't think that we could levy a better criticism than that. So for everybody watching at home, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. I've been your host, Michael Opdyke.
Host Big Sugar Ray.
This has been Knockouts Unlimited. Have a great evening.
This episode of Knockouts Unlimited was brought to you by the Blue Planet Media Group.